we're now heading into the fifth question, which will be posed to Joanne Humor. Joanne, how do you determine where the state's fiscal responsibility ends and the county's begins?
Where the state's fiscal responsibility ends and where the counties begin. The county needs to really concentrate on its basic kuleana because it's very important, our kuleana. Police, fire, parks, county roads, elderly, all of these areas are really important, and we can't get distracted from that because that's our first responsibility. We can't neglect that. There have been occasions where we have stepped in to support the state because they have either failed or they needed help, and we do believe in intergovernmental cooperation because there are many areas of overlapping jurisdiction, and we need to work well together. But first and foremost, we have to be fiscally responsible for our revenues and our expenditures, and we need to make sure that the taxpayer is getting the best bang for his buck in all areas that we do. And when we do that, I think we best serve our community.
I believe it's all about relationship between the county and the state. There needs to be that relationship that is built in trust as we move forward into projects here on our island. Talk about our roadways, working closely with the Department of Transportation. I have a working relationship with Mr. Brennan Morioka, where we really talk story. It's about bridging the state to the county, looking at opportunities and ways we can truly look and be fiscally responsible, at ways that can make an impact for the people who live here. And I believe through my relationship with many of the key leaders in the state, and bridging the state to the county, and seeing what kind of benefits we can bring here to the island is important. Of course, being fiscally responsible within our own department and county is, of course, very important. And as an administration, we continue to look at ways to best manage our county, being more energy efficient, looking at ways to be more independent, but at the same time, looking at ways to truly work together to bring the monies home and bring monies here to get things done on this island. And that's what it's about.
How would you work with the state to be fiscally responsible?
Again, it's all about the relationships. I've maintained relationships with all the projects I've been involved in our affordable housing projects. We identified 10 projects this past 6 years, 4 years with the Office of Community Assistance. We did 10 projects, and all of that had relationships there with the state. We had a relationship with the Department of Homelands to get those projects, those homes built in Kikaha. We built homes right out here in Puhi, working with our self-help project. Out in Elihele, working with our projects out with Habitat for Humanity, working with the state over here and working on roadway widenings to get to Anahola, the Anahola project, which is another relationship we have with the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. Looking at roadways, looking at extending roadways, looking at future development, looking at more land. I mean, all of that comes with relationships. Building a relationship with OHA. I was involved in the first agreement ever with OHA to look at ways to utilize Hawaiian homelands or Hawaiian lands. We had to work diligently in Honolulu to get that agreement done, and we did it. That agreement I'm talking about allowed us to work closely with OHA, be able to build homes on Hawaiian ceded lands. And that's what the agreement is about. Now, to make it become reality, that's what's happening. Now we're working on ways to get that done. But the bottom line is, it's all about the relationship, the continued relationships, whether it be the state, county, federal. That's all what it's about in getting things done. And I have that relationship, and I still am maintaining that relationship with the people, the key people who can get things done.
I think there are major gains in working with the state. One of the examples is on the land transportation plan that the state is responsible for, and that is a plan for our island, which affects our lives every day, like the roads between Kauai and Lihue, the roads that also between here and the west side, the main highway, and we are looking at a plan right now which is one, obsolete, and two, is going to cost more money than we can possibly raise. And that's why for years we haven't been able to build the roads that we need. The way that the county can influence state fiscal responsibility is to work on a plan that is actually implementable and using smart growth principles, mobilize or maximize the existing capacity of roads, which is integrating transit with our roads right now, i.e. the Kauai bus.